Hello students, today we are going to study the first part of science and technology and the first lesson, that is gravitation. What is gravitation? It is a universal force and it acts not only between two objects on the earth but also acts between two objects in the universe. For example, we can say that the gravitational force acts between any two objects like a table and a chair, or you and the table, or whatever things are near. So it doesn't matter that gravitation means only the force acting on the earth. Actually, it is a universal force and it acts between any two objects in the universe. So let us study more about the gravitation. So who was the person who discovered this gravitational force? Yes, it is, the person or scientist is Sir Isaac Newton. Now, Sir Isaac Newton was sitting under an apple tree. Usually, before that also, many people sat under the apple tree and apples fall on them, or usually many fruits fall down on the ground. But Newton was the person who thought about that. Why does the apple fall down on the earth? Why doesn't it fly up in vertical position or in the horizontal position? So he thought about it more, researched about it, and after that he came to the conclusion that earth must be attracting the apple towards itself, and this attractive force must be directed towards the center of the earth. That's why the direction from the apple on the tree to the center of the earth is vertical direction, and at the position of the apple, and thus the apple falls vertically downwards. Now, Newton thought that if this force is acting on the apple, so would it be acting on the another objects like moon, which is very far away from the earth? So the diagram over here is showing the apple is placed on the earth, apple tree, and the apple is falling down straight perpendicular, as well as the moon is also revolving around the earth. So the question came, or the thought came to Newton, that if this force of gravitation is acting on the apple, so would it be acting on the moon also? So let us find out the answer. So before we study that, before we find the answer, we have to study about the force and the motion, because the moon is in the motion around the earth. Okay, so first we have to study about the force and the motion. You have studied about the force. Different types of force are there, and muscular force, then frictional force, circular force, gravitational force. So different electrostatic force. So this force we have studied last year. But what is force actually? Force is necessary to change the speed as well as direction of the motion. Now you have to study about the circular motion and the centripetal force. First we have to see what is circular motion. Here you can see in the picture, a stone is tied to the string or the thread, and the girl is rotating the string around in a circular motion. This motion of the stone is called circular motion. Okay. Now, when you move the stone round and round, so where you are applying the force? Yes, the force is applied at the center of the circle. So as this force is applied toward the center of the circle, this force is called as the centripetal force. Okay. Now if you will release the stone, okay, if you release your hand from the string, or if you release the stone, so where the stone will go? The stone will go straight in a straight line, while like forming the tangent to the circle. Okay, so here is the definition of the centripetal force. The force which acts on an object moving along a circle and it is directed towards the center of the circle is called as centripetal force. Now just see the image over here. It is shown the planet and the satellite. You can assume that it is the earth and the moon. So the moon is revolving around the earth with a certain force. The gravity means what? The gravity which keeps satellites in the orbit around the earth and earth in orbit around the sun is the example of the centripetal force. Here what happens, the moon keeps on continuously moving around the planet. Because of its motion or the velocity, the moon does not fall on the earth or does not collapse on the earth. The gravitation of the earth is pulling the moon towards itself, but the moon has its own speed. That's why it does not fall on the earth. Otherwise, the gravitational force is acting on the moon also, as the sun's gravitation force is acting on the other planets. So in this lesson, what we studied about? We studied about the gravitational force. The gravitational force acts on any two objects in the universe. It can be planets, sun, or any two objects nearby you. Then second, effect of the gravitational force on object away from the earth. The gravitational force is acting on the objects away from the earth also. Third one is circular motion. When an object continuously moves in circular paths, it is called as a circular motion. And last is centripetal force. The force exerted at the center of the circle is called as the centripetal force. Thank you.